Well, last night, this is where I left, and it snowed. That's not why I'm going inside today, though. I have been behind on getting my inside work done for a few days now because I've been out here doing this. So I have some work I have to do my other business, and I've got some editing and some things I have to do for the YouTube channel just for you guys. So that's what I'm going to be working on today. I've got that and a whole bunch of other work I have to get done. But tomorrow, that's what I'm going to do. We're going to start cutting on that pile tomorrow. And then the day after that, we're going to my other brother's, and we've got a little logging job we're going to do. We're going to be working on cutting down a whole bunch of trees at a buddy's house. We were there before, but he marked another 7 or 8 big trees that we're going to cut down. So that's what's going to be happening in 2 days. And then in about 3 or 4 days, I'm going to be heading out to go to my brother Kenny's for beaver trapping. So that'll be fun. So that's coming up. But today, what I've got to do is, in particular, this saw. I threw a chain on it, but I didn't just throw a chain on it. I was cutting a log, and when I cut it, the log rolled, and it threw the chain, and it caught the chain, and the saw came out, but not the chain, and then the log rolled, so I kinked to the chain. So I'm going to see if I can straighten it. I don't know if I can, and if I can't, it's not the end of the world because the chain's about halfway used. But I'm going to see if I can get it straightened to where it slides, you know, on the rail nicely. So we're going to see if I can do that. And then all the other saws, they all need sharpening, and I'm going to take off the air filters. I'm going to clean those out, so you're going to see how I do that. Just a little bit of saw maintenance today. So I'm going to clean them up, sharpen them up. I'm going to grease up the sprocket up front here, that kind of stuff. So that's what's going to happen. We're doing a little maintenance work today. So here we go. Well, the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to see if I can get this chain unkinked. If not, then I guess I'm going to have to, oh, I was on there tight. If I can't get it unkinked, I'll just change the chains because I have plenty of extras. I always have in, I don't know, half a dozen or so. I like to keep, they're all on a shelf up here, so we'll get this taken off and we'll see what I can do to the chain if I can get it unkinked. Well, those are on there. And this is my 576, by the way. It is a 76cc or 75cc saw. And it's my oldest saw that I have. And, oh, mess. There we go. So let's check out this chain here and see what we've got. Oh yeah, there's the kink right here. You can see I get it all straightened out here, flat first. So just to give you an idea, look at how bent that is. I kind of doubt that I'm going to be able to do anything with it, but I'm going to give it a try. Yeah, that's really bad. And I'm going to put gloves on because the chain is pretty darn sharp. And what I'm going to be doing with the bending, it's probably, yeah, it's really bad right there. But I got a feeling that this is a no repair job. This is a replace job. Wow. Yeah, it's bad. I can see it. I got it somewhat bent out, but then it curves up and it just doesn't lay flat. And your chain needs to lay flat like this. Like this is here. You can see all that. And right here, where the kink is, I can see that it's not flat. We'll give it a few more bends. It's right here is where the kink is. So I'm just gonna push down and bend on it. Let's see what I can do to it. So I'm just pushing down and then trying to get it straight like this. Pushing down with the heel of my hand and lifting up over here. That's actually not too shabby now. The best way to do it is to look right straight down the line. So let's see what happens. I actually think I got it pretty darn good here. So what I did was I just take it like this. If you look right down the chain like that, and if you look right down the chain like that, and I take it into the middle and do the same thing. You look right down the chain. I don't know if you guys can see that, but as I hang onto it like this and I look straight down, it's straight. If I look like I'm sighting a gun in, you look right down the line, it's pretty good. So I'm gonna put it on and see what happens. If I can put it on and I can rotate it, it might be good. So when you go to put a new chain on, for those of you that haven't done it, it's always easiest to start right at the tip, like this. Just drop it on like that. And then what I always do is I grab down here like this, hang on to the chain, and I tip it upside down. I just lift up on it right here, and it just pops right in. That's the way I always do it anyway. So, oh, except this one might not just pop right in, because it's probably not straight. Yeah, that side popped in easy. Well, I might have some teeth that are, or some, oh, yep, it's tight. It's tight right here. Still bent right here. Right in this area here, because it's not dropping in. It won't go in. It's still bent. I'm afraid that if I try to force it, it's going to wear the bar out by running those guides. Yeah, there's none of them that have burrs on them that I can feel. It's actually still just bent there. And I can force it in, but it's real tight. Right here, you can see where it's not going in. Okay, so I got it on. I did a little more bending and I put it on. And it's on and it does move, as you can see here. It moves right, real easy right there. And it catches right about there. And I think it's catching when it goes around the tip sprocket and probably around the sprocket in the back. The drive sprocket. Yeah, it's real hard right there. And it gets real easy. Right there, it's hard again. And this is about as tight as I like to have it, so. I think it would work, but I'm afraid that, right there. I'm afraid what would happen is I would either wear out this sprocket or wear the rail out, or I might ruin oh, there it's catching right there. It's kind of catching in the back sprocket too. You can feel it right there, it catches. You hear that little clicking? So, I am not going to put it back on. I'll keep it for an emergency spare or put on an old saw or something. So, I'm just going to replace it. So, we're going to pop it off. And I'm going to put a brand new one on, which is kind of nice anyway. So, yeah, this doesn't have the keeper nuts like the 572s do. This is the old style yet. So it's got to have spare nuts for if you change out in the woods that you. Oh yeah, I see it sticking right there. You can just see it. It just doesn't want to go in tight. Instead of ruining the bar and the sprocket in the back, the drive sprocket. I'm just gonna toss it. I haven't ruined a chain in a long time, so that's what we're gonna do. So I just happen to have lots of these. And this is the one I've been using. People ask me all the time. I use the H47, which is, for my saw, it's the 3/8, 0.050 to 84, 1.3 millimeter as far as the drivers. And it 24-inch bar, 84 drivers. So anyway, there it is, brand spanky new. And I've been having real good luck with these. I've tried just about everything, not just about everything, but a lot of different ones. But what I like about these is that I like the depth gauges on these. They just seem to clean better. They run smoother, and I think the saw cuts better. I've had the other style where it's like a flat plate. I don't like those. They don't cut nearly as good, not nearly as fast either. So there it is. It is on. I did just flip it because it was the other way. So I'll pop this on, and then this will have to be adjusted tremendously because it's a new when you put a new chain on, you got to back off your chain tensioner to get it in the hole all the way. And always look to make sure you got your teeth facing the correct direction. I have done that wrong too. Got out there like, why in the heck isn't this thing cutting? What is the deal? There we go. And then I just get it tight. And when I put on a new chain, I put it on fairly tight. I crank on it pretty good because it's going to loosen right up as soon as you start cutting. So I give it pretty darn good tension. And as far as people asking me about cleaning my saws, no, not so much. My maintenance I do is very basic. I make sure the chain is sharp. I lubricate the tip. I clean up my air filter. As far as cleaning all this out and getting this all cleaned up, 30 seconds into cutting, it's going to be dirty again. I don't really worry about it a whole lot. And I haven't had a problem. So I'll crank this baby down. Oopsie. And I just get it so it's good and snug. Now normally when I put a chain on, I get it so I can pull it. Yeah, that's a little too tight, but I get it so it's a little looser than this. But a brand new chain is going to loosen right up. And well, there you go. See, rookie mistake. Did not have it in the back sprocket. So that happens. I didn't have it in the sprocket. Trying to demonstrate quickly here and I didn't double check it. So that means I just get to loosen all these up again. And then retighten it. Unless I didn't even get it in there. Well, let's see what happened. Now I gotta take it off again. Yeah, I must have had it not in the sprocket all the way, because now it is. There. Ah, it's better. There we go. You notice my scrunch has got pink tape on it, because if you drop it in the woods, a lot of times you don't see the silver, it kind of blends in. So a lot of people will spray paint theirs orange. I've seen yellow ones. So we'll get this pretty good and snug, and now it should be good to go. So there, I've got it on, and it's good to go. It's a little bit tighter than I normally would like it, but like I say, it's a new chain, it'll loosen up. Oh, and some of you are going to ask me, I'm sure, my nice custom job here on my brake. This snapped off, like last year I was cutting a log roll and snapped it off, and I've broken, I think, 3 of these now. And I wanted to just keep cutting right away, so when I came home for lunch that day, I wired this on, drilled some holes, and I epoxied it, and then let it sit, and used my other saw while it was drying. But it's been working ever since. But yeah, isn't that nice? I'm pretty sure that's not to ocean standards, but I think to get it replaced is like, I don't know, 50, 60 bucks, something like that. There we go. So the chain is changed. Now, next thing I'm going to do is I am going to redo my measurement guide, because I snapped that one off. Oh, that's nice. I named my cap on tie is leaking. So we're going to put another one on, and this is how I do it. It's pretty simple, really. I just put it right through here. Go like this. I've been putting 2 on because they do break off occasionally, and when I'm cutting I like to make sure it's on. So I zip that one off. And I just take the scissors and I cut it off so it's at 16 inches. And then I take a little piece of tape. Or if you can even see, can you even see? There we go, that's better. And then I just put a piece of tape on it. And the pink is real easy to see again in the woods. I just taped the end of it. I think I broke off 3 or 4 of these now while I was cutting. So that's that there. And then the next thing I'm going to do, so these don't rotate, I found out. If you leave them, they move on you, and then there's one forward, one back. So what I've been doing now is I've been putting a little bit of electrician's tape, black electrician's tape on there. Plastic tape or poly tape, whatever it is. So I'm just going to put a little piece on here. So I kind of go across both of them. And the little piece of tape that's underneath there, it seems to grip better on the actual handle. So nothing fancy, I just put it on kind of snug. And then it's good to go again. There we go, it's pretty high tech, huh? There you go, there, my measurement gauges are complete. So the next thing I'm going to do to this saw is what I'm going to do to the other one. This one's obviously somewhat sharp because it's new. Maybe not as sharp as I can get it, but it's good enough for me. I'll take this off, cover, and then the next thing I do whenever I'm doing maintenance, which is what I'm doing today, is I will take off the cap of the air cleaner, and I always pull the choke out to close that off. And I'm going to pound this out, and you will see how much crud comes out of this. So I just try to get most of the sawdust off. So sometimes I'll do just that and go back to cutting. But today what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all of my, well, the three saws I've been using, and I have some Dawn dishwashing liquid and some hot water. Put it in there and I agitate it a bunch. You'll see that in a little bit. We're going to clean it out really good. So another thing I just realized I didn't do when I put this on, every time I sharpen the chain, I just take my lubricator with the little grease gun thing here, and I usually just give it a shot. 1, sometimes 2. There's a little receiver hole. As soon as you start to see it come out here, as soon as it comes out from the teeth, you can see it's full, and that's all I ever do, just give it a couple shots. And I don't always do that. Sometimes I'll sharpen and not do it. Sometimes I will. It's just every second, third time, something like that, I'll grease up the sprocket. So the next thing I'm going to do on my next saw is I'm going to sharpen it first. And this might be a little bright for you, but I need it for seeing. I use this work light all the time. And what I will do is I will take a marker. If you see my other videos, I just mark one tooth. And that's where I start. And I'm going to sharpen. So there it is, that is done. The next thing I do is I go to my first tooth, which is the one right here that's red, and I check it to see how my depth is. And I check a few teeth. I just do it with my finger. I can kind of feel, because the last time I sharpened, I did take the rakers down. And I use this depth gauge just to kind of feel, to make sure it's not sticking up above here. I just kind of feel it. Now, if it did need the rakers taken down, I use this file now most of the time. I made a little handle for it. And I just give it like one swipe, maybe 2 swipes. And I didn't push hard because I didn't want it to go. So I do this tooth, and then this one, and then this one, and then this one. And then I go the other direction for the other one. So I'm pushing away from the opposite tooth. But so that's pretty much what I do. But the rakers don't need to be taken down. They're just fine. So the next thing I'm going to do on this one is we're going to pop off the cover here. Make sure you guys can still see. Oh, kind of, sort of. So I pop the cover off. And then we'll pound this one out. This one doesn't look nearly as bad. So, oh yeah, there's some in there. Yeah, not nearly as bad. For some reason, my 576s are always much dirtier. I don't know if they breathe more or just the way it's set up. So then what I'm going to do is I will take this one along with that one. Just throw it into my bucket there, because then what I'm going to do is once I get my third one done, then I will get some hot water and some Dawn, and I will then wash them and get the oil out. So that saw is done. Time for number 3. So again, the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to sharpen this one. So I'll just mark a tooth. And this is pretty much how I always do it. And then I will go to sharpening this one. Okay, so I just finished sharpening this saw, and I checked the depth gauges or rakers, and they are just fine. They're below or just right level with the. And I don't check them all. I just kind of randomly check a few here. Yeah, it's fine. But this particular saw, the chains are real loose on. So the last one was just fine. Although the last one I didn't do this, so we're going to give this one a shot here, and then we'll get the other one. There we go. One more little shot. There we go. So I'll go put some in the other one, and now I'm going to tighten this chain up. And now this particular saw has the keepers, so you don't have to worry about the nuts falling in the grass or into the leaf litter debris on the ground and then losing them. So again, what I do is I just try and get this so you can see here. I think you guys can kind of see. So what I do is I just kind of feel it. I kind of pull back on it, and then I tighten it. And when I get to where I'm comfortable with it, a little bit more, right about there. That's about right. Not much more than that. You don't want it too tight. You don't want it too loose. That's a personal preference, and I know if I asked nine different guys, you'd have 9 different answers on how to tighten the chain, but that's how I do it. I just get it to where I know it's good. And when I first start cutting, if it's too tight, I can tell right away. And if it's too loose, I can tell right away. There you go. So, yep, that one's pretty good. Feels good now. So, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put a new measuring stick on here. The little zip ties that I have, because I broke one off. Actually, I broke a couple off. Let me get you guys in here so you can see again. So I broke off 2 of them, and I slapped another one on. Like I said, they do break off occasionally, so there you go. There, that one's off. So I'll just grab another one. There, we want to go this way. There we go. That one is on. So now I just need to cut it off with the scissors. And I just need a little piece of tape. I just find that pink works really good. We need just a little piece. So put that on. There we go. So that's done. Next, I will pop off the cover, and we will take off the, like I said, I don't need these on anymore. We will take off the air filter, and pound that out. Oh, this one looks pretty dusty. We'll take this one over here. Let's see what this one does. Oh yeah, quite a bit. Not terrible, I've had it way worse, but there's how much stuff I've taken out. I blew that off once already too. So again, this is now going to go into the bucket here. And we're going to go put some hot water in this, along with some Dawn dishwashing liquid, and agitate it a bunch. So there's the bucket. Normally I would take this over to the sink and fill it up, but my sink is way back in a corner over there, and I don't really want to set the lights and camera up over there. So here's the Dawn, and I do just put it right, oops, got to open it up first. I just squirt it all around like this. I am pretty liberal with it, and I went and got a bucket of hot water. There we go, it's in there. And so the next thing I do is I just agitate it a lot. Got a nice stirring stick here. I just do this a few times, and you can actually see the water will start to turn kind of grayish, blackish from the oil coming out of it and the dirt and stuff. So I just agitate this up a whole bunch without trying to damage the fins or the paper. It's actually a felt, I believe, that is on the filters. But I just agitate it a bunch. Now, you don't have to use Dawn dishwashing liquid, but it does cut the grease when you wash them like this with water. Another way to do this, and I've done this before in the field where I had one that was kind of pretty bad because I hadn't cleaned it in a long time, and I could tell the saw was sucking air, or not sucking air. I just poured some gas on it in a little bitty, took up half of a little thing of can that I had along, and I put it in there and just put some gas in there and agitated it, and then shook it out, and then I just set it in the sun, and it just evaporated. Now you could start it up probably and just run it through. It probably just suck it out that way too. So gas does work. So now you can see it, but the water is turning brown. So anyway, that's about all I'll do, and I'll let it sit like this for a while. Just let it sit in there, and then I'll stir it again, and then we'll dump it out and rinse them off. Okay, so this has been sitting for, I don't know, 10-15 minutes or so. I went and did some other stuff, and I think it's been sitting long enough. Give it a few more agitations, and I'm going to take it outside, and I'm going to dump it to Crumpet. So I'll usually go right anywhere here, it doesn't really matter. Water's actually not even that dirty. And then I just shake them out real good. Okay, the bucket's empty. And I actually have spares of these too, so if I'm cutting and it's really bad, I can just slap another one on, so I have a spare for. So there they are. And then what I usually do now is I take them inside, and I will be placing them up on a shelf in my office here that is back over this way, and right above it there's an air duct that looks just like that. So the air will be blowing on it, and it'll be dry. I'm not cutting till tomorrow, so it'll be dry. On days when it's nice out, sunny out, I just set it out in the sun for a little while. So there they are. So those are done. So the next thing I would do is I would put those back on, put the covers back on, and I'm good to go. But I'm going to leave these sit and dry overnight, so tomorrow we can do some cutting. So hopefully that gave you a little bit of what I do. So generally I sharpen the saws, check the depth gauge or the rakers, make sure the chain is tight like it needs to be. Lubricate the sprocket a little bit on the end here, clean the air filters occasionally. If I notice the saw is running rough, I just change the spark plug. It almost always, that seems to be what it is. Or if I can't start it, which happens maybe once a year, where I can't, it just won't start, I just put a new spark plug in it, and it runs great then. So I do very little maintenance, especially with the 572s. The auto tunes are excellent. I don't have to do anything to them. I don't ever adjust the idle. I don't have to adjust, the high, the low, nothing. They just run. So they're very low maintenance, which is another reason to get a decent saw, to spend the extra money. They just work better. That's pretty much it. Once in a while, I'll flip the bar. If a bar gets worn, I put a new bar on it. And I put new chains on when they get down there too. So you can see I got a bunch of chains here. I've used a few chains in the last year. And all my chains I just keep right up here on the shelf, so I got a bunch of them. So that's pretty much it. Thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. Hit the buttons. That'd be great if you did. Tomorrow, we're going to cut that big pile outside. I'm going to see how much I can get done, because I rested today all day. I didn't do any manual labor, so tomorrow I should be able to get a bunch done. I don't think I can do it all, but I'm going to try to do a bunch. It's all maple, so it should cut good. It's supposed to be a nice day tomorrow. It's not supposed to be hot or cold or anything, so it should be great. So come back tomorrow, we'll do some cutting. Between now and then, get outside, do some cutting, and if you see Irene, you know what to tell her. Good night.